I thought we'd regale my tale of something that brought this into sharp focus for me last night.
This is a good story and a warning to everyone.
Absolutely. So, just as a general context, we're obviously living in a world that's transitioning further and further into the cloud and whatever digital services you want to imagine. So, if you, as an example, you don't necessarily feel encouraged to go and buy DVD movies, for instance, when you can just get a Netflix subscription and you don't have a DVD cluttering the house and you can just get everything instantly through a subscription. Or you've got iCloud or OneDrive or Dropbox where you can save all of your files and you don't have to back them up to a DVD or a hard drive anymore. But the question then becomes, especially like people like us who, and I'm sure heaps of people as well, who would have a lot of legacy storage mediums. I've got, drawerfuls of tapes and DVDs and all that with all my files of, backups of videos and whatnot. The question then becomes, what point do you kind of have to let go of that stuff? Now, I kind of had a little bit of that forced on me when a bottle of bleach leaked in my wardrobe, and we only found out about it last night, and it ate through a few things. So that prompted me to have a good look around and see what else could I get rid of, what could I start digitizing and, sort of moving into. And the obvious advantage of if you're able to stay awake for all that time that you need to get everything digitized, that by the time you put it all into the cloud, it's all instantly accessible at a click. And actually, you're probably more likely to want to interact with that data or those videos or whatever if it's more accessible. So because, I think we were saying before you got on, we don't have the time these days, to chuck a tape into a machine, hook it up to the computer, batch capture it, say an hour of footage, manipulate it, and then you would get rid of it. And the only other way to, if you wanted to go back to it again, would be to redo that capturing. It's just a waste of time. You'd want it just instantly accessible in some sort of digital medium. So, just with that as a context, what do you think about all that sort of thing, Steve? It's just, it's hard. You don't know how long these mediums will last, and if you have the ability to go and actually read them at some later point.
Well, I think the good news is if you're 15 years old, what we're about to talk about is never going to be an issue. I mean, we don't really see people running around with video cameras anymore unless they work for a broadcast network. Everyone now uses their phones. God knows what happens to all the videos that are shot on phones today. There must be more video around today or created in the last year than probably in the 50 years, up until 2010. But we're the transition people. We're the people with mini DV tapes, which was at the cutting edge. We're the people that produced a whole lot of video because we could. We're the first generation that could. 8 cents a minute for a mini DV tape, great value. Only issue is you have to digitize it every time, and then there's the whole storage issue. And there's always been two ways to go. I mean, I've got 2 hard drives that contain all the scenes of a couple of movies that I made. I also lost all of my working footage on a drive that malfunctioned some years ago for a documentary I made. I've got all the raw tapes, but, and this begs the question, storage is changing, it's transitioning. If you shot it on your phone today, or if you probably shot it on a, some sort of solid state device, life's pretty simple. It's a file, but the tape transfer is the killer. And there's no room for tape anymore. I think it's time to either bin it or digitize it like you have and move it on, but not onto hard drives. It's got to go into the cloud, I think, is the only way.